I'm not a Sonic YouTuber. I'm not a Sonic YouTuber. I'm not a Sonic YouTuber. So me, totally not a Sonic YouTuber, had no plans on talking about Sonic 3. Not for any specific reason other than me not wanting to be a Sonic YouTuber. That's reason enough. I figured it would be a decent flick, but not too much to write home about. The first two movies are very solid kids movies with a lot of heart and soul put into them, but that's as far as they went for me. Sonic 1 was a cozy throwback to buddy road trip movies in the 90s, while the second actually felt like a legit Sonic movie. You see, when I was born, the Lord decided to slap your boy with a big old dose of autism. So yes, I was born in the 90s and I had autism. You pretty much know what that means. I like me some Sonic back in the day. I remember getting a hand-me-down Genesis with Sonic Spinball, and that was my first game that I ever played. Sonic Spinball isn't a particularly good game, but it was enough for my 4-year-old brain to be enamored with the world and characters. I remember looking up Sonic stuff with my dad on the computer and just losing my gourd over it. Eventually, my uncle got a Dreamcast that he hooked up for us, and he had a demo of Sonic Adventure. Let me tell you that I saw that opening and played Emerald Coast more times than I've pooped this month. I was so desperate to play the full game, but we never had a lot of money, so I never got to play the full Sonic Adventure game as a kid. I seriously got 1 or 2 games every year. But eventually, the Dreamcast came and went, and then the GameCube skyrocketed from the heavens straight into my living room, and we were finally able to play Sonic Adventure DX, and of course, Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. I'm pretty sure playing these games at that age is what gave me autism. This shit was my life. It ruined me. I actually gravitated more towards Sonic Adventure 2 Battle more and more, and I'll never forget watching my brother beat the final story. I'll never forget raising my first Chow. I'll never forget unlocking Green Forest. Most importantly, I'll never forget this one memory I had with my brother. One Saturday night, me and my bro were at our grandparents' house, and we stayed up late eating pizza and playing Sonic Adventure 2 Battle all night in the living room. Finally, we ended the night by watching a Gorillaz music video marathon on Toonami to fall asleep to. That memory shaped me. I'm still chasing that high to this day. Me and my brother have led very different lives, but I still remember the times I had with him. Us playing outside and one or both of us getting hurt, playing laser tag, jumping on my parents to wake them up at 7 a.m., and playing Sonic games with him. As I grew up, I discovered my absolute love and obsession with movies, and I grew up dreaming of a legitimate Sonic the Hedgehog movie. Like, to the point to where I would hope and pray to see a Sonic poster every time I went to the theaters. Yes, I'm serious. I would imagine seeing Sonic on the big screen and just go absolutely insane. Then I grew up. I grew out of that, and then it just became something that I looked back on and giggled a little bit. As I grew, my love for Sonic diminished, of course, but not necessarily for my love for Sonic Adventure 2 Battle or Sonic Adventure DX. Those games are so special to me, and will always be with me for the rest of my life. Eventually, we did get the first Sonic movie, and it was fun, but ultimately a bit forgettable. Then we got the second movie. The second Sonic movie is pretty much the Sonic movie that I always hoped and dreamed it would be. I honestly didn't think it would get any better. You know that episode of AVGN where he plays the new Godzilla games and he gets pissed because he didn't have those games as a kid? That was me with Sonic 2. My adult self enjoyed it enough. If that movie has come out as a kid, it would have just changed my life. For better or worse. So going into Sonic 3, I was optimistic that it would be a fun time, but not much else. What I didn't expect is what I got. I thought I had lost what I felt as a kid. I thought it was gone forever. The closest thing I could compare this feeling to is imagine seeing your childhood home for the first time in decades and everything is exactly the way you remembered it. That feeling of nostalgia engulfing you in this endless warmth. You remember what it was like to see the world in awe because it was new. Because you were new. You remember what it was like to pretend, to imagine. You forget any responsibility and you just are. You're not an employee, you're not a specialist, you're not qualified, you're just a fucking kid. I haven't felt those things in almost 20 years. Best of all, everyone in my audience was right there with me. Even more than Endgame or any Marvel movie I'd seen, the adults, the children, we were all having the time of our lives in that theater. It just really blows my mind that we are getting a huge movie franchise out of this character that is being treated with such respect and care. These movies never lose sight of what Sonic is, and it just makes me a little emotional. I love this little blue fucker, and so does everyone involved in these flicks. I cannot fathom that this all started with this design of Sonic. Imagine in 2019 that being told that this movie series would be this good and would fix Sonic's design. Jeff Fowler really did go back in time to destroy the robot generator and make a good future. We all doubted you, Jeff, and we were all wrong. Thank you for making this incredible film. Thank you everyone involved in this movie. It's not perfect, but hey, Sonic Adventure 2 is definitely not perfect either. God damn, did this movie nail it. The pacing can feel a little off, and Jim Carrey maybe has a few too many extended sequences with him just being classic unhinged Jim Carrey, but that's a small complaint. I will say the biggest gripe I have with these movies really is the music. I'm starting to think that Junkie XL or Tom Holkenborg is a bit of a fluke, to be honest. His Mad Max score is fucking unrivaled, but literally every other OST I've heard from this guy sounds exactly the same, and it's so generic. To really see what I mean, do me a favor and listen to Godzilla's theme by Bear McCreary, and then listen to Godzilla's theme by Tom Holkenborg. You see what I'm talking about. His musical scores are so generic and nondescript. They just sound like TV music, to be honest. I'm sorry, I've been conditioned to have banger music in my Sonic media, and this shit just ain't cutting it. But honestly, that's about the only thing that's missing. This movie fucks so hard, and it's so good to see that everyone remembered that Sonic is fucking cool. And no hack idiot that can't play a game to save his life, even though it's his job, can gaslight the internet into thinking that Sonic is bad, when in fact he's just bad at the game. But that's beside the point. This movie rocks, and you should see it now, or I'll stab you to death. This review is kind of all over the place, and that's just kind of my brain after this movie, to be honest, and I'm a little sick, so this movie kind of just left me speechless. I hope you enjoyed this review/ramble, and I hope you come back for more. But one final thing I will say about this movie is that it would have been better with Doug Walker. Okay, bye.